Hey folks, Weatherman Sam, man in a big green hat. I'm here at Rig Clay State Historical Park in southern Tennessee, exploring the council of the Big Trees Trail. And there are some beauties here. So let's go see what we can find. It starts just after a crossing of the council Spring Branch. It's so quiet and so peaceful in these woods. There's so many big trees. So it's quite well named. A bit of a boardwalk here through a wide wash of an area. Low and wet. I'm looking for tracks, but the mud is too hard at the moment to find anything. Well, look what we have here. Woodland phlox in bloom. And just in front of it, the fruits of the green dragon. How cool. This trail crosses an old road of some kind. It goes back into the woods here. Continues uphill. I don't like to film these little uphill sections because you can always tell how out of shape I am. But it's worth noting, just for anyone who comes here for an adventure, that it does have some elevation. We've come to a junction, so this may have actually been the connector trail. There are no signs on the trees at all to tell you this. The path's leveled out a little bit. Somewhere up here is a lookout tower or lookout platform, not too far into the 1.7 mile loop. Around to the top of that little knoll, and we're headed back down. I almost thought I saw wild blueberries back here, but I'm unsure if that's what this is or not. They were tiny little berries that were dried up. If you know what this is, leave me a note in the comments. I'd love to know. It's a fun little summer plant called leafy elephant's foot. I always love the huge leaves on it, but I don't know that it looks like an elephant's foot. So I was looking up on a map, and this hill, or what feels like a mountain in this heat, this is called Suits Hill, and it's right along the Dry Valley Divide. And I met some people that said this was the shortcut up to the tower, but I'm not taking the shortcut. I'll keep right along here. Besides, the other was steeper. Starting to see some rock outcroppings here. Shiny, I can see some quartz mixed into this. And more little rock outcroppings here. Resurrection ferns. Dry from the lack of rain we've had. All these little bugs are pouring out of this fungi. I'm not sure what they are. Here we go, folks. Here's the Overlook Tower / platform. This reminds me of that that's built at Old Stone Fort State Archaeological Park, also in Tennessee. There's a platform above the gift shop, which is situated under a reconstructed Native American mound. In winter, this would be something else. Through the breaks in the trees, you can see far up here, distant mountains. next to this overlook, there's a whole huge patch of Queen Anne's lace. Going here, kind of these gravel barrens. And good old sneezeweed. Daisy fleabane. The regulars of these streets. It's like two birds dancing or something. Branches are so windswept, and windy and crooked. Up here on the top of Suits Hill, on the Dry Valley Divide. And we go down off of Suits Hill, and the forest is just covered in little low growing shrubs of some kind. I still think they may be wild blueberries, and they just don't set berries up here. Too much shade. But we'll be dropping down into another little drainage. Maybe there'll be some interesting water features. I swear I just heard a coyote yip in the distance. How coincidental that attention getter is with this marker tree. Huh. We're right here at the top of Suits Hill. Or technically this was Dry Ridge. I've been calling it the Dry Ridge Divide or some such mess. This is the Tennessee Divide. Dry Ridge is just the name of the ridge. But we moved up away from the creek itself now for a bit. Not a whole lot of wildflowers around, little phlox. Solomon seal left over from spring that's gone to seed and fruit. And then just walk right here along the edge of the divide. There was no way to get a photo of it or even video. It's a little bunch of little squirrels out here in the woods just playing on the tree. This is a pretty little area. So much of my videos are usually just putting one foot in front of the other, unless there's an interesting water feature, but there's this one stretch that's completely open. It just caught my attention and I wanted to share. Moved it into a little area here that's not sure what this had been constructed for. There's a small trail that led off to the right over there. All goes to the same path. It's all following this, what looks like a dry drainage downhill. Yeah, as I suspected. This little feeder stream. Which is technically an unnamed tributary off of Mills Creek. Much like Council Spring Branch. It's really not a technical name for it. It too is an unnamed branch of Mills Creek. But it deserves its name of Council Spring Branch. This is a pretty little stretch with a bench back there, these boulders that's come up in this dry branch. Oh, I'd love to see this with the water running, but I'll be back again. How pretty this would be in the springtime. There wouldn't be much of a ford. Little cascades maybe that passes that rock. It's the biggest rock I've seen yet here. He's a cool one. Bit of a grassy area through here. some large trees that have fallen. It's become an interesting little habitat for birds. There's often butterflies fluttering around. Everything has its purpose, has its role. Even this dead tree will be home to woodpeckers. Well, our time on the Council of Big Trees trail here at Red Clay State Historical Park is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed this little walkthrough, little journaling, the wildflowers that we saw, the butterflies that you may or may not could have seen on video. Until next time, keep exploring and stay wild.